Hi there. Yeah, just pulled over. I pulled over because something happened that I just got to talk about. My battles with the family court system are graphically known. And first off, before somebody goes, oh, just angry with your ex-wife. Well, sorry, no, that ain't it. That's not what I'm doing, and don't trivialize what I'm playing with that way. That's completely disrespectful, and I'm not doing that to you, so stop it. Now, what I have been stating and arguing and been winning on are the constitutional infractions that occur inside the family court system. I won an appeal. I won a mandate from a state Supreme Court on this, just to have the family court system turn around, the attorneys and the judges in it work jointly to cover their own asses and create federal crimes. Now, I'm in Texas, where people in Oklahoma and people in Texas, judges, attorneys, committed federal felonies in stealing my oldest son, kidnapping him across state lines against his will, and against authority, and against jurisdiction. It's the same as if your next door neighbor came in and took your kid to another state, because they didn't have the authority. I filed a complaint in federal court, and the complaint never got answered, and the other judge dismissed it because of really dubious things. Now, it's really interesting, the attorney up there that I'm suing was also the head of the Oklahoma Judicial Complaints Committee. Also happens to know the federal judge real well. And real proud to announce, a week or two ago, the Fifth Circuit of Appeals picked up my appeal in that case, and now we're in New Orleans. So, and we have an appeal going here in the state of Texas for what one of the Texas judges did. Completely act of bias, complete deprivation of every one of my constitutional rights, and it's going to get really hot and heavy. My job is to put attorneys and judges in jail, federal penitentiary. That's my job. That's my task. I sworn that on as a sacred oath. Now, what that does is it makes all the judges and attorneys treat me, on the other side, in a very snide manner, because I am calling what they are: douchebags, parasites, greedy cocks. I won't say the second word on that one. Started to, caught myself on that one. But I never expected a douchebag to be completely devoid of all compassion. Now, the game that they've been playing with me for 11 years now is, see, a judge rules if two parties can't agree, then you submit something to the court, and then the court will make a decision. Well, what's really interesting, my second ex's attorney, who works for Legal Aid of North Texas. I'm rolling out here, guys. I'm starting to roll it out here. I'm starting naming names before long, because I don't care anymore. You're slandering me. Let's get right back at you, because I've got facts on my side and I've got the law on my side. But anyway, this douchebag that works for Legal Aid in North Texas, that my second ex conned her way into hiring. What he likes to do is he likes to never agree to anything, never present anything, and just go to the judge and say, we can't agree, and go lie his ass off. Oh, I'm being nice when I say the phrase lie his ass off. And I've got documents on it, and I've got written affidavits on it. But because we're dealing with judges and attorneys, law enforcement doesn't want to pick it up. The FBI doesn't really want to mess with it either. That's why it's left to me and you to uphold your own personal rights. But what set me off today is, so I get a correspondence. I'm just going to say it that way. I get a correspondence from douchebag, the same guy that rolled his eyes when we revealed to him that I likely had cancer. Didn't do it to my face, did it behind my back. He pops up today and says he wants to subpoena my doctors for my medical records. That's just straight harassment. Asking me to provide a statement, a report, fine. Subpoena, that gets involved in the middle between a patient and a doctor. That's a threat against my life. It's not bad enough that your clients got together and violated federal law and had my children taken from me by SWAT team, making all kinds of allegations that were never supported by anyone other than the affidavits of attorneys that said, well, we believe our clients are telling us the truth. No police reports, no evidence, no history, none of this, ever. An audio tape was presented that was highly manipulated, and it was never admitted into evidence, never put into the record. That in itself violates 5 laws in the state of Texas, and it violates 11 of my constitutional rights. But the judge says, well, I'm not an appeal judge, an appellate judge, so I can't rule on that. The judicial code says she's supposed to rule by the law, and it's supposed to be, if this applies to the law, then she's supposed to grant it. If it does not apply to law, she's supposed to deny it. It says it in the Texas judicial code. But the third judge in the case has decided appeal it. So guess what? I'm proud to announce I'm filing a writ of mandamus, and I'm going to tell you this. Up it. You get between me and my health care, that's one step too far. That's sticking a loaded gun in my face. You may have a thin legal argument about the rights to protect a child, when realistically what you're doing is you're using it to manipulate somebody to get them to yield and pay you money in the middle. I'm not going to be extorted with my kids, and I'm not going to be extorted with my health care. Declared war. War has just been declared. I read another letter saying, well, the parties can't agree, and the judge is going to do whatever. Let's take it to the appellate court. I'll take it all the way to the Supreme Court. But when somebody can't be civil and can't compromise, they leave you no choice than to declare complete war. Now, that's not a threat against somebody's safety. I'm not saying I'm going to take them and kill somebody. And don't play the drama card that Steve's dropped off the deep end. It's not the case. One man, me, is fed up. I've had enough of your shit. I've had enough of the cutesy games. I've had enough of the, we can do it and you can't hurt us. Well, you can be hurt too. It's not a physical threat. How you hurt somebody like that is you destroy their reputation and you destroy their ability to gain income. You take their ability away to do what they do. And if they're doing it to commit crime, which this is what these guys do, then you take away that ability and then you take all the profits from it as well. 5 attorneys, actually 3 attorneys, 2 judges in Oklahoma, the federal complaint against them for $280 million, which I can back up. This guy here got sanctions against me on a really thin argument because everybody wants to look the other way to keep the judge in Cook County out of jail. I'm looking to put her in jail federally. We'll see if that happens. Now, somewhere along the lines, if I mystically just happen to die, let me say this, I am not investigating the Clintons. I do not wish to kill myself. My life insurance policies aren't elapsing. And what other excuse have I heard in the news lately to state or cover somebody's murder? Yeah, that's happening in the news right now. Does it apply to everybody else? Well, when people are in power and think they are completely impervious and can manipulate systems to cover their butts, you need to worry. When the Cook County, Texas Sheriff's Department, the Texas Rangers, the Texas Attorney General's Office, the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Department, the Oklahoma County District Attorney's Office, and the State Attorney General's Office, and the Oklahoma Board of Judicial Complaints, all of these 7 legal institutions, and the FBI, all refuse to do their job, what do? You put civil actions out, you get public, you get vocal. Want to be political? I can be political. And I can drive to Austin, and I can drive to Washington, D.C., and I can do these other things. And I'm more than willing to. At the end of the day, all I want is my rights upheld, compromise to be handled, and for a person's right to be a parent to be upheld. It's already been ruled by the U.S. Supreme Court that it's an undeniable human right that the state can only get in the way of, only can only overturn in 3 small areas. Temporary orders are abused daily in violation of all of the other rights, and they do not comply with any of these 3 points. Happens every day, and everybody goes, well, somebody's just disgruntled because they're getting a divorce. Everybody wants to run about, scream about tyranny, and the liberals doing this, and them doing this in Washington. It's happening in your own town, in your own courtrooms, in family court, every day, and that attorney on the pew, at the end of your church pew, on Sunday, is probably the biggest gangster you know. Hold people accountable. Make them do the right thing. That's all I ask. Now, you guys, that's the thought for the day.